Part 11. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 101. Boom. The next moment, the sky is covered with dark clouds, divine thunder roars, countless divine chains of order slowly appear, endless fairy light surges, and tens of thousands of thunders are trembling. This is the wrath of heaven, as if it is about to rush towards this place in the next moment. A dark emperor, tear him into pieces. On the other side, in a small world, a little girl was so angry that she bared her teeth and screamed. His grandma is so angry with Ben Tiandeo. They are pretending to be cool. They are provoking Ben Tiandeo. I will kill them completely. Throughout the ages, except for that big pervert Li Bai, I have never it's so frustrating. Ah. Incompetent rage. Okay, just calm down. That's not what you said that time. Didn't the result be a cessation of activity? The son of Karma curled his lips and said. You know what the heck, this Tiandeo is waiting for an opportunity and is preparing for a fatal blow. The little girl said disdainfully. So, you gave the light of absolute beginning to Li Bai. Humph, he insisted on it. Give it to him if he wants it. You are such a kind person. Haha, your only bargaining chip now, the light of the beginning is also in Li Bai's hands. You risk your life to give them a fatal blow. Besides, even if you can deal with the dark mythical emperor, you can deal with the one behind him. Or, do you dare? The girl of destiny said from the side, adding fuel to the fire. Well, after all, want to protect the 10 immortal realms, I must have thought carefully. So, just leave this matter to Li Bai. Anyway, if he says it can be destroyed, it will be destroyed. I believe him. There was light in the eyes of the girl of destiny, and a faint hint of love. Why do you trust him so much? What did she fill you with? There was a trace of suspicion in the little girl's eyes, as if to say, something is wrong, there is something wrong with you too. Oh, don't worry about it, just watch quietly. Okay, anyway, even I can't see through that pervert Li Bai. Immediately, Tiandeo said to Immortal Realm Destiny. Arsha, are you here? Soon, a childish voice came. Yes. Arsha, go to the deserted area and give some strands of destiny to Empress Nanyi and the others. Ah. Degree, why is this? Stop talking nonsense, just go if you are told, otherwise I will destroy you. Okay, go right away. On the other side, the divine thunder in the sky roared, but it never fell. Haha, look, I'm right, the heavenly Deo of your fairyland doesn't have the courage. The Dark Emperor said mockingly. Holy crap, could it be true that even heaven wouldn't dare to take action? I don't believe it, that's the way of heaven, that's the ruler of the fairyland. Then tell me why these heavenly thunderbolts dare not land. At this moment, in the sky, wisps of destiny turned into golden streams of light, pouring into the bodies of each of Nanyi and others. In an instant, the surface of each human body of Nanyi and others was covered with a thin layer of fairy light. Covering, the momentum continues to surge, and the realm continues to improve. Some quasi-emperors can also feel this ray of destiny, constantly washing through the meridians of their limbs and their inner universe. You must know that this is separated from the destiny of the immortal realm. It is the purest energy, and it is also something that countless great emperors dream of. Damn it, what is that? A blessing from heaven. Destiny, that's destiny, how is this possible? Woo, it's not too late to join now. Originally, Empress Nanyi and the others are strong, but if they are blessed by a ray of destiny, it will be even more terrifying. Suddenly, a misty voice slowly entered Nanyi's and the others' minds. Give me destiny, kill them, kill one of them, and I will give you a ray of destiny. Woof woof, when did you become so kind? Don't forget that we are enemies. De Wang said in disbelief. You are a dead dog, why do you care so much? If you don't want it, I will take it back. No, 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 there's no reason to take back what you gave away. After seeing their changes, the Dark Emperor said lightly. I didn't expect that your destiny would be willing to give you a ray of destiny. It seems that they stop talking nonsense and kill. Before he could finish his words, Nan Yi and others rushed forward. How brave! The Dark Emperor's eyes narrowed, and with a wave of his hand, dozens of dark quasi-emperors appeared in an instant. Kill them for me, keep their flesh and blood intact as much as possible. Yes. Immediately, Nan Yi and others started fighting with these Dark Emperors, and those quasi-emperors naturally went to deal with these Dark quasi-emperors. As for Qingxian, he did not take action. He must always be wary of those guys in the dark. The body of gods and demons, one thought reaching the sky, no fear of gods and demons, the eternal fist of gods and demons. The feathered emperor directly faced the Dark Emperor, the most powerful among them, and punched out. Thousands of gods and demons roared and roared, mixed with the power of destroying the heavens, and rushed towards the Dark Emperor. There was another with the blessing of the destiny, the power is several times stronger than before. Haha, Ant, I appreciate your courage. If that's the case, then what if I show you mercy for once? The Dark Emperor slowly raised his hand, stretched out a finger, and directed a primitive dark beam towards the feathered emperor. Point it out. The world is shocked. Heaven and earth are destroyed. Everything returns to ruins. Wherever the black light passed, all physical matter turned into nothingness. Boom. The horrific aftermath continues to destroy the void, returning the center of the battle to a state of chaos. Quick, quick, form a formation, the aftermath is too terrifying. Yes. In the distance, countless forces have formed defensive formations, trying to resist the horrific aftermath. In an instant, countless formations were destroyed by the aftermath, countless creatures were bombarded with blood, and their bones and meridians were broken. Damn, it's too scary. Let's retreat a little. Otherwise, before they finish fighting, we will probably be destroyed by the aftermath. Is this the battle between immortal emperors? What about the immortal emperor? That Dark Emperor hasn't reached immortality yet. Oh, I finally understand why so many people can't help but be tempted and turn to the darkness. This infinitely powerful power is really too tempting. Boom. After one blow, the gap between the two sides was revealed. I saw that although the feathered emperor had a ray of destiny's blessing, his wings were stained with blood and withered. The white wings stained with blood looked extremely sad and beautiful. The black wings were even more monstrous when stained with blood. The three groups of wings behind them, I also folded a pair, and a trace of blood gushed out from the corner of my mouth. On the other hand, the Dark Emperor only took a few steps back, without any injuries on his body. You must know that the feathered emperor is immortal, but the Dark Emperor has not even reached immortality. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 102. Yes, you are worthy of praise for being able to block my finger and not die. The Dark Emperor said with an extremely calm face, as if he was praising an ant. Haha, I am also honored to be praised by a Dark Emperor. It's just a pity that today, the ants you mentioned will completely destroy you. The Xuanhuan Emperor touched the blood at the corner of his mouth and said slowly. Oh? I'm curious, what other means do you have? The war started again, and the world shook. The Dark Emperor blasted out with one hand, slapping out the surging darkness, and the darkness rolled in with destruction. Seeing this, the Xuanhuan Emperor naturally would not take it lightly. With a wave of his hand, a black and white crown was slowly put on his head. It was his natal emperor weapon, the Xuanhuan crown. In an instant, the Xuanhuan Emperor's aura surged again. Then, the Yuhua emperor stepped on the sole of his foot, and his whole body shone with thousands of feet of light, and pieces of light feathers fell. The divine and demonic bodies were once again pushed to the extreme by the Emperor Yuhua, and the phantoms of thousands of gods and demons continued to emerge. Emperor's art, Yuhua 10,000 worlds. Boom. 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 Emperor Yuhua once again fought with the Dark Emperor. The majestic collision wave swept across the 8 wastelands, and the Dark Aura and Luyu continued to collide and annihilate. This time, Emperor Yuhua held on, and not only did he hold on, but he also made the Dark Emperor spit out a mouthful of black blood. All those who watched Emperor Yuhua fight were shocked and excited. This time, Emperor Yuhua won the fight. Awesome, Emperor Yuhua is awesome, he actually made the Dark Emperor bleed. Tisk tisk, it's worthy of being an emperor's art, Yuhua 10,000 worlds, I want to learn it in my dreams. And the Dark Emperor's calm eyes finally showed layers of ripples. The feathering of all worlds is indeed a good imperial technique. You can make me bleed. You are very good. Haha, next, I will let you fall. Then let's try it. On the other side, Emperor Xuanhuan was holding the judge's pen and the Book of Life and Death, fighting against another Dark Emperor. As soon as he made a move, it was a move to destroy the world. Dusk and the End. The mighty power of the End swept out like a vast ocean. The sky and the earth were destroyed, the galaxy was broken, and the light of dusk seemed to bury everything in the world. This is the Forbidden Road, Dusk and the End. Palm of Darkness. Dark Storm. Dark World Destruction Seal. The Dark Emperor's eyes condensed, and he exerted his full strength directly. He also knew that he might not be the opponent of Emperor Xuanhuan. For a time, the rules of the avenue that protected this area were constantly broken under this kind of battle, and the deep space universe appeared. Deep in the sky, a little girl was waving her hands to repair the broken rules of the avenue, and complaining. Can't you hit me a little more gently? I'm so tired of this heavenly day. But her complaints were useless, and the broken rules of the avenue were still broken. Ah, a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter. This is the disadvantage of fighting in the fairyland. If the battlefield is in the deep space universe, it will be different. They can fight as they please. With the passage of time, finally, the Dark Emperor who fought against Emperor Xuanhuan could no longer bear the power of the End. His body was constantly disintegrated, his face was constantly distorted, and wisps of darkness kept escaping into the black hole. Ah! Accompanied by the screams of the Dark Emperor, black blood kept falling all over the sky, and darkness permeated the entire land. Xuanhuan, you will die miserably in the end. You don't know the horror of darkness at all. When that person comes out, you will all be buried with me, ha 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 ha. With the last cruel words, this Dark Emperor fell completely. Xuanhuan, who killed a Dark Emperor, did not show any excitement on his face. He knew that these 5 Dark Emperors were just the bottom of the list, and the real terror had not appeared. For a while, countless immortal beings in the outer area of the desolate land kept cheering and jumping for joy, their hearts were extremely excited, and their eyes were filled with tears. Although Emperor Xuanhuan was a human, as long as he could kill a Dark Emperor, he would be a hero of the immortal realm and worthy of worship from all living beings. Emperor Xuanhuan, kill darkness, awesome. Emperor Xuanhuan, kill darkness, awesome. Today is really the happiest day of my life. I witnessed the fall of a Dark Emperor with my own eyes. I have no regrets in my death. An eternal God King shed a drop of hot tears. He had seen too many immortal beings die tragically at the hands of darkness. As expected of one of the controllers of the underworld, the 2 unique forbidden avenues of Xuanhuan and the End are too terrifying. The forbidden avenues are not only possessed by one emperor. Some forbidden avenues originally have countless copies, such as those of the lowest level forbidden avenues. These forbidden avenues are basically used by these emperors to make up the numbers when they are proving the Tao, but taboos are taboos after all, and they are not something that ordinary people can control at will. Only those exclusive forbidden avenues are the most terrifying, such as Xuanhuan Emperor's Xuanhuan and the End, Yahua Emperor's Yahua Avenue, etc. Not only that, especially under the blessing of these two imperial weapons, the Judge's Pen and the Book of Life and Death, it is even more terrifying. Strange, I remember that Xuanhuan Emperor's Judge's Pen was lost in the Battle of Emperor Fall. What's so strange about this? It must be found in the future. Don't worry about it, just bring me some wine. On the other side, Empress Nanyi and De Huang also killed a Dark Emperor at the same time. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that this dog emperor would actually kill a Dark Emperor one day. De Huang was covered with horrible and exposed injuries, and drops of dog blood kept dripping, but he didn't feel any pain. Come on, De Huang, you almost became a dead dog just now. Nanyi said slowly on the side. Empress Nanyi and the others also killed a Dark Emperor. Awesome, although the main force is Empress Nanyi, I have to admit that this big yellow dog has resisted a lot of damage for Empress Nanyi. It's really thick-skinned. What kind of breed is this local dog? I want this dog to mate with my little bitch. The eyes of a quasi-emperor were full of excitement. Good idea, but, this dog is a quasi-emperor, are you sure your bitch can bear it? Boom. A burst of wailing came from the distance again. Under the joint efforts of the old willow tree and the grass emperor, the Dark Emperor was already dying. Worthy of being the Dark Emperor, he took my sword and didn't die. The grass emperor was amazed. Okay, little grass, stop playing, let's go to the market to deal with him. The old willow tree reminded on the side. Okay. After saying that, the grass emperor directly transformed into a grass of his original body, and the sharp sword intent seemed to cut through the heavens and the worlds. And the old willow tree, each willow branch kept waving, turning into chains, constantly entangled and bound the Dark Emperor in front of him. Sizzle. Wisps of black swallows rose up under the tightening of the willow branches. Emperor technique, bind and devour. The old willow tree shouted. Countless willow branches seemed to be endowed with life, constantly wriggling and piercing into the body of the Dark Emperor. For emperors like the old willow tree and the grass emperor, their bodies are their own imperial weapons. Emperor's art, the grass sword art, cut everything. The green leaves of the grass emperor kept trembling, and in an instant, a ray of sword light cut through the heavens, as if it could cut down all the gods. Boom. Accompanied by a sudden upheaval, this Dark Emperor was completely annihilated. Only two Dark Emperors remained, and they were also the two strongest Dark Emperors. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 103. Holy shit, Sister Nanyi, help me, this old man is too hard to kill. At this time, a cry came from the other side of the world. It was the Teku dragon carp. At this moment, the Teku dragon carp's body was full of bloody scars, and a large piece of its dragon scales had fallen off. He had no choice but to fight against the Dark Emperor with Emperor Xuanhuan. On the other hand, Xuanhuan was not much better. His golden armor was in pieces, his body was exposed with horrific scars, and his face was soaked in blood. Fortunately, they had the blessing of destiny before, otherwise they would have been eroded by this Dark Emperor long ago. Later, Nanyi, De Wang, Caod and Lao Liasha joined the battlefield. Damn it, old fish, why are you injured so badly? De Wang said slowly. You damn bitch, your back hurts even when you stand. Come and try to deal with this great emperor. I won't let your balls explode. The ancient dragon carp cursed. Okay, leave this to us. You and the little prince go to heal your injuries quickly. I'm afraid all your dragon scales will fall off later. Nanyi said slowly. Okay, Sister Nanyi, please kill him as hard as you can. On the other side, the feathered emperor fought against the dark emperor hundreds of times. The terrifying aftermath of the explosion caused the void to shatter, and the rules of heaven were shattered over and over again. You are much better than your grandfather, but it's a pity that you are still going to die today. The Dark Emperor said calmly. Haha, let's take a look. The power of gods and demons, added to my body, the demon suppressing fist. Haha, what a small trick. Third finger. Boom. This finger of endless dark power gathers here, and countless strange runes fill the world. Darkness strikes, and all worlds are destroyed. This finger directly penetrated Emperor Xuanhuan's demon-suppressing fist. Immediately, the Dark Emperor came behind Emperor Xuanhuan at an unimaginable speed. His dark and dry hands grabbed Emperor Xuanhuan's wings and tore them apart with all his strength. Stab. Feathers were falling all over the sky, and drops of Emperor's blood continued to drip on the ground, creating huge bottomless pits. Haha, goodbye, Ant. The Dark Emperor whispered, and just when he was about to kill him, a stream filled with underworld and the power of termination turned into a spear and stabbed the Dark Emperor. Stab. The Dark Emperor immediately turned around to resist and hold the spear. Then the power of darkness continued to surge, and the spear shattered inch by inch. And the Xuanhuan Emperor also seized the opportunity and retreated away from the range of the power of darkness. Hu, ho, ho. The feathered emperor kept breathing heavily. At this moment, the imperial crown above his head was broken. 3 pairs of wings were torn off by the Dark Emperor. The wound was stained by the dark aura, and blood flowed uncontrollably. Most of the wings on his body also withered during the battle. On the other hand, the Dark Emperor only suffered minor injuries. You must know that the Xuanhuan Emperor is an immortal emperor, and this Dark Emperor is only infinitely close to immortality. More importantly, this Dark Emperor did not even dispatch the imperial soldiers. This is also one of the reasons why countless quasi-emperors in the immortal realm have joined the darkness after the righteous path has become hopeless. Although after joining the darkness, the hope of enlightenment is still slim, but it is much higher than that of the immortal realm. Too much. Xuanhuan, how are you? Can you still fight? Emperor Xuanhuan came to Emperor Xuanhuan's side and asked with concern. Brother Xuanhuan, I can still fight. Emperor Xuanhuan wiped the blood on his face and said slowly. On the other side, the Dark Emperor frowned slightly and said slowly after feeling corroded by the power of Yi repeatedly. Underworld and the power of termination, you are quite good, you can make me interested. Haha, I am honored to be recognized by darkness. Emperor Xuanhuan said calmly, from the blow just now, Emperor Xuanhuan could feel that this Dark Emperor was much stronger than the other 4. On another battlefield, the Dark Emperor fell under the combined efforts of Nanyi and others. Idiot, it's so hard to kill. The Grass Emperor gasped and said slowly, several green leaves on his body were chopped off by this Dark Emperor. Now, do you understand the gap between us and the darkness? The old willow tree said seriously, the willow branches of the same old willow tree have also been broken countless branches. Damn, this power of darkness is really too tempting. De Wang said enviously. What, you want to join them? Nanyi said faintly. Damn it, Sister Nanyi, don't talk nonsense. I didn't. I'm not. My love for my master can be judged by heaven and earth. The sun and the moon are bright. De Wang said with a roar, he was very aware of Li Bai's cruelty towards the darkness. Every one of the Dark Emperors who fell into Li Bai's hands before were killed after experiencing inhumane torture. Moreover, after every Dark Emperor died, there was a smile on his face, as if I was finally free. Okay, everyone, there is still the last Dark Emperor. Once this one is killed, the more terrifying ones will probably appear. Nanyi said slowly to everyone. No problem, let's go and support Yuhua. Swish. Everyone turned into streams of light and rushed towards the battlefield of Emperor Yuhua. When they saw the injuries of Emperor Yuhua, they all frowned, because the wound on his back was stained with wisps of dark power. If it is not removed in time, and the dark power is allowed to invade Emperor Yuhua's body, it will probably not take long for Emperor Yuhua to be assimilated into darkness. What should I do? How can I remove the dark power? De Huang said hurriedly. Emperor Yuhua, how do you feel now? Nanyi asked hurriedly. I can feel that the dark power is constantly eroding my heart. At this moment, wisps of black appeared on Emperor Yuhua's face, as if he was constantly wriggling like a living thing. Oh no, what should we do now? We have no experience in dealing with the dark power. Damn it, we must not watch Emperor Yuhua being eroded by darkness. I have a way. At this moment, Qingxian appeared in front of everyone. Old man Qingxian, hurry up, hurry up. De Huang kept urging on the side. Hurry up and protect the way. No problem. Then, the people of Nanyi surrounded Emperor Yuhua and looked at everything around them vigilantly. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 104. Then, Qingxian took out a green seed and let Emperor Yuhua swallow it. Then he attached his right hand to Emperor Yuhua's Dao heart, and strands of green light continued to enter Emperor Yuhua's body. Buzz. Suddenly, the seed took root and sprouted in Emperor Yuhua's inner universe. Waves of green lotus purification power continued to wash over Emperor Yuhua's body, and wisps of black smoke escaped from the wound on his back. Ah! Emperor Yuhua could no longer bear it and wailed in pain. You know, even if Emperor Yuhua's wings were torn off before, Emperor Yuhua did not make any sound. Obviously, Emperor Yuhua could no longer bear the pain of purifying the dark power this time. Ancestor. In the distance, the Emperor of Yuhua Divine Dynasty, after seeing Emperor Yuhua wailing in pain, roared heartbreakingly, his eyes were red, and his nails were deeply embedded in his palms. He only hated that he did not have the ability to help Emperor Yuhua. You know, Emperor Yuhua is the pillar of Yuhua Dynasty. If he falls, the fate of Yuhua Dynasty can be imagined, even if there is the protection of Xuanhuan family. After a long time, accompanied by the last wail of Emperor Yuhua, the dark power was completely cleared. Yuhua, thank you Lord Qingxian for your help. Emperor Yuhua kept panting, and stood up with difficulty and bowed to Qingxian. It's okay, after all, the Lord has ordered us to take good care of you. Qingxian Patriarch waved his hand and said. Hiss, old man Qingxian, do you still have the seed? Give me De Wang one. De Wang's eyes were full of desire. Haha, give up, this is the last seed. By the way, what exactly is this green seed? It can purify the dark power, it must be something extraordinary. Nonsense, do you need to say it? Grandpa Qingxian, this should be the seed of Qinglian, right? Nanyi asked tentatively. Yes, this is indeed the seed of the Azure Lotus. It is the seed of the Chaos Azure Lotus of the Azure Emperor. It contains a great power of Azure Lotus and has a miraculous effect on purifying darkness. It's just a pity that this is the last one in the Wanqi Academy. Next, you must be extremely careful and remember not to be invaded by the power of darkness. Qingxian said seriously. Yes. At this moment, countless creatures saw the scene and became excited at the same time. Finally, there is only the last Dark Emperor left. Tisk tisk, so many emperors fighting one, the result is self-evident. Don't get excited, these 5 Dark Emperors are probably just appetizers, the real horror is still to come. On the other side, This Dark Emperor stared at Xuanhuan, Nanyi, and others, and said slowly. Since you are here too, I naturally can't let you down. When the words fell, the central black hole continued to rotate and expand. The next moment, an extremely terrifying intention of destroying the sky filled the entire world and quickly spread to the 10 immortal realms. The universe is shaken, and the galaxy is shaking. A figure slowly walked out of the black hole, and the breath of the half-step myth continued to impact all living beings. In the distance, countless barriers were directly broken under the breath of this half-step myth, and countless living beings died tragically. Many old antiques were so nervous that they almost suffocated. Could it be that the one in the dark valley appeared, but at the same time countless old antiques were very confused. No, it's not that one. This one is just a half-step myth. Which one is the real dark myth? Damn, it's not. This darkness gives me a terrifying feeling. If I hadn't hidden far away, I would have died just now. Too terrifying. If the myth doesn't come out, who can resist this half-step myth darkness? Yes, fortunately the myth of the Xuanhuan family has awakened and returned, otherwise. On the other side, the Dark Emperor stared at everyone and said jokingly. Why, don't you feel familiar? Hearing this, countless immortal creatures were very confused. Familiar? This look, I know, it's the Emperor Facian, the Emperor Facian of the Immortal clan. The Changsheng old man said with a look of horror. Emperor Facian? Didn't I hear that he has fallen? Is it the Emperor Facian who dominated the world in that era? I remember, isn't it the Emperor who was on the Eternal Emperor list and ranked 350th? Eternal Emperor list, what is that? Why have I never heard of it? Haha, it's normal that you haven't heard of it. The Eternal Emperor list is extremely mysterious. No one knows who created it. It is not controlled by the heavenly Deo. It lists the emperors of all heavens and worlds, not only the immortal realm but also the outer realm. It can be said that only the emperors who have been on the Eternal Emperor list can be considered to have truly reached the pinnacle, and there are only dozens of emperors in our fairyland who have been on the Eternal Emperor list, such as the well-known Emperor Fantian. Emperor Fantian, what is his ranking? No 201. That's Emperor Fantian, but he's not even in the top 100. There are still emperors in our fairyland who are in the top 100. Who? Emperor Qing. On the other side, Qingxian understood instantly after seeing the figure of this Emperor Facian. No, this is not the real Emperor Facian, but the evil thoughts formed by the obsession of Emperor Facian being polluted by darkness. The evil thoughts of Emperor Facian. Nanyi said thoughtfully. He remembered that he seemed to have encountered a dark evil thought in the boundless sea. Yes, this evil thought can be said to have inherited all the means of Emperor Facian. In a sense, it is the second Emperor Facian, but it may be stronger than the original one. How is this possible? There is nothing impossible, because this is a dark evil thought. If it is an ordinary evil thought, it really can't beat the original one, but with the blessing of darkness, it's different. Qingxian said with a heavy face. He really didn't expect that there was an evil thought of Emperor Facian in the Dark Valley. Everyone, prepare to fight. I will deal with this evil thought, and you will deal with the Dark Emperor. Grandpa Qingxian, I will go with you. Nanyi said on the side. No need, little Nanyi, you are far from being the opponent of this evil thought. Let me be alone, otherwise I will have to distract myself to protect you. Qingxian said seriously, after all, he is also a half-step myth, and only he can possibly win this dark evil thought. Okay, Grandpa Qingxian. Boom. The war broke out again. Nanyi and others worked together to encircle and suppress the Dark Emperor, while Qingxian faced the dark evil thought. Half-step myth, unfortunately, you are not my opponent. The dark evil thought said slowly, and his voice was exactly the same as that of the Emperor Facian. He, you are just a wisp of obsession of the Emperor Facian, you are not him after all, I can kill you. Boom. After hearing this, the evil thought burst out with an extremely terrifying Facian intention. Go to the deep space universe, this place is not suitable for us to fight. Okay, as you wish. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 105. In the deep space universe. Emperor Facian's evil thoughts and Qingxian did not take action, but first continued to test with their breath. The breaths of the two half-step myths are constantly colliding and annihilating. Just the collision of the breaths makes countless stars annihilate and the void collapses. It's a pity. Although you are half a step into the myth, you are too vain. Presumably, you should take that step, soon, right? Dark evil thoughts said slowly. Yes, the time to enter is indeed very short. However, even so, I am confident that I will kill you. Oh, you people in the immortal realm have an inexplicable sense of self-confidence. I really don't know who gave it to you. Of course it was given to me by the masters of all heavens and worlds. Qingxian said this from his heart. Haha, don't forget, fundamentally speaking, you are also a creature of the immortal realm. After all, you are the embodiment of the obsession of Emperor Facian. Qingxian stared at the dark evil thoughts and said slowly. Well, you are right. I was indeed transformed by that person's obsession, but so what, that person has completely disappeared in the long river of history. Now I am who I am, and I am not transformed by anyone's obsession. And I don't belong to your fairyland either, but to darkness. Dark evil thought changed the topic and said with great determination. No, 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 you are wrong. You can never get rid of this identity. After all, you are just a manifestation of obsession. Your heart is humble. You are just a clown with the help of dark power. All your moves are, it's the successor and the great Emperor Facian. You long to be like me and experience the emotion of cutting off everything for the one you love, but after all, your heart is always empty. Qingxian continues to uncover the inner scars of dark evil thoughts. Enough. The dark evil thoughts roared loudly, and the terrifying heaven-defeating intention continued to surge towards Qingxian, trying to kill him. What did Emperor Qingxian say just now? Why can't I understand it? It is rumored that Emperor Facian entered the Dark Valley back then, and the reason was to find his beloved. This dark evil thought may have been the obsession of Emperor Facian at that time. After all, the obsession of a half-step myth, not many people can break it. Haha, why, speaking of your pain point, you are always an ant living in the shadow? There was a mocking expression on King Xuan's face. No, 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 it's not like that. I am who I am, and I am the great Emperor Facian. Don't even think about interfering with my Taoist heart. You will die. The dark and evil thoughts roared, and the endless will to defeat the sky gradually condensed into a giant wheel that was constantly rotating. This wheel was called the sky-destroying wheel. Wherever the heaven-fighting wheel passes, the void is continuously cut, as if the entire deep space universe is about to be cut open. Under this heaven-fighting wheel, even the immortal emperor may not be able to resist it. Chaos Seed Qinglian. Qingxian roared angrily, and the sound of shooting erupted from his mouth, like a golden sword and an iron horse, shaking the world. A terrifying vision emerged behind him. In the chaos, green lotuses slowly grew out. The power of the green lotus that purified everything was blessed by Qingxian. Thousands of small worlds emerged in King Xuan's body. In the inner universe, a green lotus continuously releases the avenue of chaos. Chaos Green Lotus Fist. Qingxian roared angrily and punched out. With the blessing of the power of chaos, the entire deep space universe continued to tremble. Boom. Collisions of destruction continue to erupt, and everything seems to be pushed back to the birth of the universe. Various time and space cracks emerge, reflecting various scenes from ancient and modern times. This kind of scene is really too shocking. In comparison, Nan Yi and the others' battle felt like they were playing house. Sure enough, Qing Xian has really obtained part of the Qing Emperor's inheritance. Some old antiques clicked their tongues and sighed after seeing the vision of the Chaos Green Lotus. Although it's only a part, that's the Qing Emperor after all. Even a part is enough to drive countless great emperors crazy. It's too terrifying. In a battle of this level, even the emperor would probably have trouble intervening. Haha, let alone the great emperor, even the immortal emperor wouldn't dare. Just as countless living beings were sighing, a voice came from the deep space universe. My obsession will naturally be solved by me. Afterwards, a figure slowly emerged in the deep space universe, carrying a sharp aura that overwhelmed the heavens and stepped on all worlds. A power of defeating the sky burst out from this person, surging and filling the deep space universe again. Different from the power of defeating the sky of dark and evil thoughts, this power of defeating the sky was purer, with an indomitable and fearless momentum. Don't give up until you achieve your goal. This person is the emperor that Li Bai found before, Emperor Facian. At this moment, he is no longer as old as before, but has returned to his middle-aged appearance, and has returned to the Emperor Facian who dominated an era. Old friend Qing Xian, leave this to me. After all, this is the result of my obsession, and I must end this period of cause and effect. Emperor Facian said slowly to Qing Xian. Haha, old friend Facian, I'm so happy to see you in your current suit. However, you are right. It is your obsession after all, and it is you who should cut off the cause and effect. Qing Xian said excitedly that he and Facian were from the same era. They had known each other since they were kings of gods. It could be said that they fell in love at first sight. Until later, Facian became increasingly depressed. Qing Xian also tried to find a way, but the result was that all have little effect. Alas, thanks to you, my lord, otherwise, I'm afraid I will never be able to get out of the shackles I set myself. The great Emperor Facian said with a wry smile. I know, who in the world can help you break the shackles? I guess only you can. Qing Xian smiled at each other. Old friend, when this war is over, let's find a place to have a few drinks. I've been looking forward to it. The spirits in the distance, after seeing the real body of the great Emperor Facian appear, their hearts fell like meteorites. The great Emperor Facian, it's really the real body of the great Emperor Facian. I didn't expect that the human race would attack the Dark Valley this time, and even the real body of the great Emperor Facian would be found. I'm getting more and more curious now, who is behind all this? Behind the scenes. Isn't it the human race and the Wanqi Academy together? How is it possible? If the Qing Emperor is still alive, it is indeed possible. And some old antiques who have already had a clue kept silent. Who do you think will win, me or Evil Thought? Me. Their physiques, methods, and moves are all the same, and Evil Thought is also blessed by darkness, so it's hard to say. In the deep space universe. After seeing Emperor Facian, Dark Evil Thought was instantly furious, and endless destroying heaven intentions rushed to Emperor Facian himself. Let me teach you what the real destroying heaven is. You are just my obsession after all. After saying that, Emperor Facian's whole body was filled with aura, and the power of destroying heaven was like a peerless immortal sword, bound to cut through the heavens and the worlds. With just a face-to-face encounter, Dark Evil Thought's destroying heaven power was directly annihilated by Emperor Facian. When the tide recedes, we can know who is swimming naked. My lord, you finally showed up. I have been thinking about you for countless years. I am here to cut off this cause and effect. Why, we are the same person. The Dark Evil Thought looked at Emperor Facian with great hatred. It was your obsession that gave birth to me, but now you want to cut me off. You are the product of my obsession. Now you are polluted by darkness. I naturally cannot let you go. Emperor Facian stared at the dark evil thought that was exactly the same as himself and said calmly. He knew that he was not looking at a mirror, but himself. Ha ha ha, ridiculous, don't forget, you created me. If you hadn't insisted on entering the dark valley, how could I have been born? I am your eternal obsession. I am you and you are me. The dark evil thought said with a sneer. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 106. Although you have inherited everything from me, you have a fatal flaw. What is it? My emotions for my wife, you will never understand. Emperor Facian said calmly. Haha, this is not a problem. As long as I kill you, from now on, I will be the real Emperor of Facian. The dove occupying the magpie's nest is just your fantasy after all. You are just a body without a soul. Stop talking nonsense, today, I will become my true self. As the words fell, the dark evil thoughts took action directly. Emperor's art, defeat the sky. Well done, imperial technique, defeat the sky. Boom. At a speed that was difficult to detect with the naked eye, the two of them fought for tens of thousands of rounds with one imperial move in a short period of time. For a time, the two were indistinguishable. The power of defeating the sky continues to permeate the entire deep space universe, as if it is trying to open up this universe. A vast star field turned into dust under the horrific aftermath of the two men. He is worthy of being the great Emperor Facian, a great emperor who has been on the list of emperors throughout the ages. Every move can destroy the world. But neither of the two of them can defeat the other. Finally, after the last battle, the two of them retreated for countless miles. The stars along the way were directly smashed into powder. Emperor Facian had a trace of blood hanging from the corner of his mouth, but his evil thoughts were safe and sound. How is it possible that the great Emperor Facian actually lost? After all, evil thoughts are blessed by the power of darkness. This result is normal. And the dark and evil thoughts, after seeing the blood on the corner of Emperor Facian's mouth, couldn't help but laugh loudly, and they were so excited that the loud sound spread throughout the 10 immortal realms. Ha ha ha, you are bleeding. Do you know, I have imagined this scene countless times. You are getting old after all, and your desire to conquer the sky is not as good as before, but I am different. I was formed when you were at your peak. Oh, so what, I will kill you today. Even though Emperor Facian has been stained with blood, his expression remains unchanged. Even though he is no longer at his peak, his heart is still the one who has conquered the world forever. I hate your condescending attitude. The dark evil thoughts roared and pushed with both hands. Incomparably mysterious lines emerged in the deep space universe. This time it was no longer the power of defeating the sky, but the power of darkness. Heaven-destroying sword. Emperor Fa Tian shouted angrily, and in an instant, the deep space universe shattered, and the sound of swords echoed throughout the past and present. A long sword glowing with fairy light and filled with the power of Fa Tian came through the sky and appeared in front of Emperor Fa Tian. In hand. The word feuding is engraved on the hilt of the sword, which represents Emperor Fighting's life goal. At this moment, the Facian sword kept making a buzzing sound, and kept shuttling around Emperor Facian, like a child who had not seen his parents for many years. Haha, Facian, long time no see. Emperor Facian said dotingly. Buzz. After seeing the Facian sword, the dark evil thoughts shot out greedy desires in the dark pupils. As the incarnation of Emperor Facian's obsession, he naturally knew the power of the Facian sword, which was forged from a piece of Taishu meteorite gold. Imperial soldiers. During the decadent years of Emperor Facian, Dark evil thought has been trying to find the Phasian sword, but the results are self-evident. This is also the reason why evil thought, a half-step mythical figure, does not possess the imperial weapon. In his opinion, only the heaven-fighting sword can be worthy of him. Phasian, come here, I am your master. Only I am worthy of you. Evil thought said to the sky-fighting sword. Buzz, buzz. After seeing the evil thoughts, the sword of Xuanhuan trembled and buzzed, as if to say. Who are you? Do I know you? Go away, you fake. When evil Nianza saw that Xuanhuan was unmoved, he couldn't help but became furious. Why, although I am not the original deity, everything about me is inherited from this deity. Okay, if that's the case, then I will kill you. In this way, you can only belong to me. In the distance, countless creatures suddenly understood after seeing the appearance of the heaven-fighting sword. His grandma, I even forgot that Emperor Phasian is an emperor who specializes in swordsmanship. The sky-fighting sword is the 7th-ranked imperial weapon on the list of weapons in the immortal realm. Yes, it's the 7th one. According to legend, Emperor Phasian found a piece of Teishu meteor gold somewhere. After countless years, it was forged by the most famous forger in the immortal realm, Wang's Heize. After the forging was completed, Emperor Phasian is still feeding with his own blood. There is a sword in the immortal realm that can cut the sky, and it is the sky-destroying sword. Then, the great emperor of fighting swung the fighting sword, and a bright sword light cut through the deep space universe. Wherever the sword edge passed, the darkness receded. I will definitely get the heaven-fighting sword and the dark heaven-fighting fist. The evil thoughts were furious, and in the universe above it, countless phantoms appeared. It was the phantoms that fought against countless people during the peak period of Emperor Phasian. Then countless phantoms gathered in this punch. Suddenly. Boom. Vast power is surging. That sword light instantly transformed into an endless sword light, shining in the dark and cold deep space universe. In an instant, a sound of bloodshed reached the ears of the creatures. It's not enough, the sky-destroying sword technique, the second try, defeat the heaven and earth. Third try, defeat the sun and the moon. The fourth trial, defeat all sentient beings. Emperor fighting, holding the fighting sword, once again wielded countless sword moves. The sword light shone across the 10 immortal realms and frosted the 14 states. This shocking wave of destruction made countless creatures smack their lips in amazement. Is this the sword art of destroying the heaven that countless sword cultivators desire? It is indeed one of the 5 great sword arts in the fairyland. I just don't know which one is stronger, the sword art of the grass, compared to that grass. They are both the 5 great sword arts in the fairyland. There is no saying that one is absolutely stronger than the other, but the two are essentially the same. One is destroying the heaven and the other is slashing the heaven. Anyway, they are both against God. It's really miserable to think about it. There are a total of 5 great sword arts, and 3 of them are against God. Tisk tisk, what a sin. The most important thing is to look at the person who performs it. Can a god king and a quasi-emperor perform the same? Besides, not everyone can master the sword art of destroying the heaven. Even if a myth emperor performs it, it may not be as powerful as the great emperor destroying the heaven. After all, this is the result of countless efforts and insights of the great emperor destroying the heaven. After the dust settled, the endless darkness dissipated, and the evil thoughts slowly revealed their miserable state. At this moment, there was no good spot on the dark evil mind's body. It was covered with traces of sword light, varying in depth. Wisps of dark power were trying to repair the wounds. Hee, you can't kill me. I am you. If you kill me, you will erase yourself and everything you have done before. The dark evil mind said like crazy. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 107. I admit that everything I did before was a failure. Although I am called Phatian, I can't even protect my beloved. What's the use of Phatian? Emperor Phatian admitted it directly. He admitted that everything he did before was in vain. After hearing this, Evil Thought was shocked instantly. His dark pupils were full of disbelief. He didn't believe that Emperor Phatian would deny his first half of his life. No, 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 you are lying to me. You must be lying to me, right? Evil Thought kept shaking his head and said. You are the product of my obsession. You should know best whether I have lied to you or not. Emperor Phatian said calmly. No, how could it be? If it is true, your power of Phatian. This is the purest power of Phatian. I finally realized that Phatian is not the goal. Protection is the most important thing. If you can't even protect your beloved, what is the meaning of Phatian? This is something you will never feel. Emperor Phatian said calmly. So, this is the meaning of Phatian. It seems that although Emperor Phatian is not at the peak of his realm, he has realized his own path, which is the most important thing. Yes, among the billions of creatures in the fairyland, those who can truly walk on their own path are rare, even the Emperor is no exception. That's right, no Emperor will easily deny the journey of most of his life, which will easily lead to evil thoughts, just like Emperor Phatian. But now Emperor Phatian has broken and then established, completing nirvana. As long as he does not fall, his future emperor's road will be smooth. The old man Changsheng said with a wry smile. Even if he has lived longer than some emperors, he has experienced the changes of countless epochs and has not found his own path until now. Emperor Phatian, you are worthy of our worship. Emperor Phatian, you are worthy of our worship. Countless creatures in the fairyland worshipped Emperor Phatian devoutly, and in an instant, countless invisible strands of faith power continued to pour into Emperor Phatian's inner universe. Afterwards, countless powers of faith continued to gather at one point, and gradually, a golden seed slowly appeared, and the power of all living beings continued to permeate the entire inner universe of Emperor Phatian. Well, this is the power of faith. I didn't expect that there was one thing that I would also be believed in by all living beings. Emperor Phatian murmured to himself and laughed. The power of faith was something that countless emperors longed for. You said it was useful, but it was not very useful in battle. If you said it was useless, it was longed for by countless emperors, especially the emperors with higher realms, who cared more about the power of faith. In ancient times, some emperors often fought because of the power of faith. At the least, the lives of the people were destroyed, and at the worst, a fairyland was destroyed. And now the power of faith gathered in Emperor Phatian's body has slowly condensed into a seed. This is the first stage of the power of faith. The first stage is the seed of faith. The second stage, the seed breaks and takes root and sprouts to become a tree of faith. The third stage, the tree of faith bears a fruit of faith. In the fourth stage, the fruit of faith falls to the ground and becomes a phantom of all living beings, with the power of thousands of living beings blessing the body. Just to gather the power of faith into the seed of faith, a huge amount of power of faith is needed. As for forming the tree of faith, it requires endless power of faith. Currently, only a few people in the entire fairyland have achieved it: Emperor Suwu, Emperor Qing, Emperor Fantian. At this moment, this seed of faith is constantly filled with golden breath. Under the blessing of this breath, Emperor Phatian's realm quickly returned to its peak state. Damn, look, the realm of the great Emperor Phatian has actually recovered to the peak realm. What is the thin layer of golden mist covering the body of the great Emperor Phatian? That should be the power of faith pursued by countless great emperors. The power of faith? What is that? It sounds awesome. To put it simply, the power of all living beings. Every living being prays devoutly to an emperor, and that emperor will gain the power of faith. This is why there are countless statues of emperors in the fairyland. but there is also a condition: faith can only be unique. Once a living being believes in an emperor, even if he believes in another emperor, the emperor cannot gain the power of faith from him, unless the emperor has fallen. After saying so much, what is the use of this power of faith? It seems to be useless. The other side. I don't believe it, I absolutely don't believe it. How can you easily deny everything you did before? I don't believe it, I don't believe it. Evil thought kept saying with his hands holding his head, repeating I don't believe it, I don't believe it. However, the next moment when he saw the abnormality of the original body, he was instantly stunned. The power of faith, no, it has reached the level of the seed of faith. Why don't I have it? We are the same. Why don't you ants believe in me? Evil thought kept roaring at the creatures in the distance, and the terrifying sound waves turned into the power of destruction and rushed towards all living creatures. Fortunately, it was blocked by Qingxian the next moment. At this moment, the creatures in the fairyland almost peed their pants. The sound waves that were like the destruction of the world just now made them feel the fear of death. This lunatic, you are evil thought, why should we believe in you? He really knows how to flatter himself. He is just an evil thought of the great Emperor Facian. He really thinks he can take over the affairs of the great emperor. If I can't beat him, I will twist his head off and kick it like a ball. Countless creatures criticized the evil thought. After hearing these voices, the expression on the face of the evil thought became even colder. At this moment, he was completely controlled by the darkness. Die, die, die. The evil thought waved his hand, and the terrifying dark power rolled in like a world-destroying thunder. Looking for death. Fighting heaven sword art, the final form, all living beings defeat the sky. The great Emperor Facian held the sword of Facian, and with the blessing of the power of faith, he performed the last form of the sword art of Facian, which was also a move he had just completed. And after swinging this sword, the great Emperor Facian immediately fell into an extremely weak state. This time, the sword light was a power that made the sky tremble, and endless brilliant fairy light emerged. This magical power is unparalleled in the world, looking down on the ancient and modern times. Under the gaze of billions of creatures, this sword light cut through the vast deep space universe and dispelled the heavy darkness. This shocking duel, even Qingxian couldn't help sighing. This can be called the duel of the century. After this sword, I'm afraid this deep space universe will return to a state of chaos. In just a few breaths, black blood dripped all over the sky. No, this is impossible. I have the blessing of darkness, how can I lose? I still want to replace the original body, I can't die, I can't die. The voice of evil thoughts spread throughout the deep space universe. No matter what tricks are used, even if you sacrifice yourself to darkness, it will be useless. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 108. At this moment, Emperor Yeyu, who was hiding in the void, and the emperors of the other 6 clans could not help but sigh. As expected of Emperor Facian, he can deny his first half of life. I have never had such great perseverance. It's difficult, how difficult it is. If Emperor Facian is given another epoch, I believe he will soon step into the myth. Emperor Facian can bear this worship from the creatures in the fairyland. Then, Emperor Yeyu slowly said to an old man who seemed to be very ordinary behind him. Ancestor, let's do it. If we can kill Facian, it will surely cause them great trouble. No, just let him fall into a dormant state. Although we have reached a deal with the outside world, we can't fall into a completely hostile relationship with that person. Yes. Afterwards, Emperor Yeyu immediately contacted the other emperors hiding in the dark. Begin the action. Remember, you only need to put Emperor Facian into a sleeping state. Sleeping, why don't we just kill him directly? Besides, the one from your Ye family is here too. an emperor said doubtfully. With the means of that adult, do you think if we really kill Emperor Facian, he won't be able to find us? Emperor Yu said slowly. But, we have already taken things from the outside world. So what? Anyway, as long as we can delay them, even a second is not considered a breach of contract. Okay. I am unwilling, we are of the same origin, why are we so anxious to fight each other, this lord, let me go, let me go. Evil thoughts kept begging for mercy from Emperor Facian. He didn't want to die, and he still had a lot of things to do. I said, this cause and effect must be ended. Either you or me, either me or you. Emperor Facian shook his head firmly. In the end, under the voices of great resentment, the dark evil thoughts fell. At the moment when the evil thoughts fell, the Emperor Facian suddenly felt that a thread of cause and effect disappeared, and there was no cause and effect on him at this moment. The dark power in the sky kept escaping back into the black hole, and a voice could be heard faintly from the black hole. Waste. On the other side, under the joint siege of Nanyi and others, this dark emperor had no power to fight back at all. It was 1-on-1 before, and now it was 7-on-1. Ha ha ha, you can kill me, but you can't kill darkness. Wait, when that person appears, you will be destroyed forever. I'm down there, waiting for you. Boom. With the last cruel words of the Dark Emperor, the 5 Dark Emperors and the evil thoughts have completely fallen. On another battlefield, all the quasi-emperor level darkness was also completely destroyed, but the casualties of the human race were also heavy, and 4 quasi-emperors died. At this moment, in the desolate area, the mountains and rivers were broken, the earth collapsed, and the rolling dust filled the sky. There were deep pits everywhere that were smashed by drops of quasi-emperor blood. This scene was like hell on earth. Next, is it going to be more terrifying? It shouldn't appear easily. After all, such beings are very careful about their lives. They won't show up easily without full confidence. Just as all living beings were discussing, several imperial techniques came from the void, and the target was directly aimed at Emperor Facian. Boom. In an instant, countless living beings were stunned. No, someone is attacking. Old friend, be careful. Qingxian shouted at Emperor Facian, wanting to help, but it was too late. After all, they didn't expect that an emperor would hide in the void and attack. It's just that Emperor Facian was too weak at the moment. Although he could react, he didn't have enough strength to fight against these 7 moves. It's over, it's over. I didn't expect that there are still several emperors hiding in the void. This time, it is estimated that Emperor Facian will fall. Just as Emperor Facian slowly closed his eyes and prepared to accept the coming of death, a mythical breath easily annihilated the moves of several emperors. Ants who can only hide in the void and sneak attack. In an instant, an extremely rich mythical breath spread across the 10 fairy domains. A man in simple clothes slowly appeared in front of everyone. The endless stars surrounded this figure, and billions of galaxies were just a stream under his feet. All gods respect him, and all spirits worship him. Every step he took was like stepping on the hearts of all living beings. The pressure alone made the entire 10 fairy domains tremble. It's the human emperor ancestor, the human emperor ancestor has appeared. Emperor Xuanhuan shouted excitedly. Huh, it's a good thing that your Xuanhuan family's mythical emperor has appeared, otherwise Emperor Facian's life would be hanging by a thread. Nanyi patted the waves and said slowly. Myth, the real myth emperor. The myth emperor of the Xuanhuan family. Now, it means that this war is about to begin. After all, only myths can have a little power to resist. After seeing the appearance of Emperor Xuanhuan, countless immortal creatures shouted respectfully. Greetings, the myth of the world. Greetings, the myth of the world. On the other side, Emperor Facian was overwhelmed when he saw the Emperor Xuanhuan. This is the realm he pursued after all, Myth. Facian, thank you for your help, this favor will be unforgettable for me forever. Emperor Facian clasped his hands and bowed respectfully to Emperor Xuanhuan. You should go and heal your wounds first. The voice of Emperor Xuanhuan was extremely desolate. Yes. Haha, old friend, congratulations, not only did you cut off this cause and effect, but you also found your own way. Qing Xian said slowly on the side. Not worth mentioning, if it weren't for this mythical emperor, I would have fallen. Don't worry, none of these ants who can only sneak attack can escape. Qing Xian was full of killing intent. If it was a head-on confrontation, there would be nothing to say, but they shouldn't take advantage of the danger to sneak attack. Get out of here. Xuanhuan Renhuang waved his hand, and in an instant, an extremely terrifying force caused large areas of the void to collapse. The 7 emperors hiding in the void also slowly appeared in front of the living beings. They couldn't resist this great power at all. They saw that each emperor was wearing a black mask, and their appearance could not be seen clearly, and their breath could not be distinguished. No, the black mask is too strange, I can't detect them at all. Nan Yi said with a frown. Yes, not only that, I sensed a very faint breath of the outside world on the black mask. Emperor Xuanhuan held his chin with one hand and said slowly. Outside world? How is this possible? I haven't heard of the destruction of the eternal barrier. Maybe, I sensed it wrong. Just as the 7 emperors were stunned, a voice came from their minds. Run. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 109. Aha! The 7 great emperors hurriedly fled into the void, preparing to escape. Now that you've appeared, why run away? Stay. Human Emperor Xuanhuan had no expression on his face, and with a wave of his right hand, a mythical barrier appeared in front of the 7 great emperors. At this moment, another mythical aura directly shattered the barrier and blasted towards human Emperor Xuanhuan. After feeling this mythical atmosphere, Renhuang Xuanhuan frowned and pointed out, the method of burial is to bury mountains and rivers. The shadows of buried mountains and rivers, and the vast power of burial, permeate the deep space universe. Boom! The unparalleled explosion scene catches the eyes of every living being. Immediately, the 7 masked emperors disappeared without a trace under the cover of this mythical aura. Interesting, this mythical atmosphere feels very familiar to me. Xuanhuan human emperor stared at the direction of the source of the myth's aura and said slowly, but he did not take action again. After all, if a myth really wanted to escape, even he would be hard-pressed to stop it. The next moment, Nan Yi and other great emperors appeared beside Renhuang Xuanhuan and said respectfully. We have met the mythical emperor. It doesn't have to be like this, I'm just following your orders. Xuanhuan human emperor shook his head and said slowly. At this moment, he gave people the impression that he was an ordinary mortal. Not only that, there were also wisps of fireworks in Xuanhuan human emperor's aura. The most beautiful thing is the fireworks in the world, which accompany the floating life for another year. This is the realm that countless great emperors have dreamed of, to be pure and simple, to return to nature, but as long as there is still some desire, it cannot be realized. After hearing this sentence, the emperors sighed secretly. The path to simplicity, returning to nature, makes us envious. Human emperor, who are those great emperors who took action just now? Emperor Xuanhuan said doubtfully. I can't see through them. That mask is too weird and is not a product of the fairyland. Human Emperor Xuanhuan shook his head and said. When the emperors heard this, they couldn't help but feel shocked. What? You can't even see through it? A mask that even a mythical emperor can't see through is weird, really weird. but the mythical aura that blocked me just now is a bit familiar to me, like the one from the Ye family. Xuanhuan human emperor frowned slightly and said. The Ye family, could it be that one? Ancestor Qingxian took a breath and said, I didn't expect that one to be still alive. Grandpa Qingxian, who is that? Nanyi asked extremely curiously. The creator of the Ye family, the mythical emperor Yeyu. Qingxian slowly said a name. Yeyu, how is it possible? Didn't he fall in the Dark War at that time? Emperor Xuanhuan said in disbelief. At first, I thought he had died, but now it seems that he used some method to escape. It's amazing, even I was deceived. Xuanhuan human emperor looked at a place carefully and said slowly. Senior human emperor, are you really sure that the aura just now belonged to Yeyu? Of course, after all, I have been fighting with him all my life. That means that the one who attacked just now was the emperor of the Ye family. Not entirely, after all, there are only 3 great emperors in the Ye family. Why did they attack Facian secretly? I remember that there is no grudge between Facian and the Ye family. Emperor Xuanhuan said with great confusion. Forget it, everyone, we will discuss this matter later. The most important thing now is the Dark Valley. I guess that one will show up soon. Human Emperor Xuanhuan stared at the black hole and said slowly. At this moment, inside the black hole, an extremely ancient voice slowly sounded. A myth, this kind of temptation is not worthy of me personally, unless. On the other side, just as countless creatures from the immortal realm were looking towards the Dark Valley, silhouettes of people broke through the void and slowly appeared in the sky of the blue sky immortal realm. The breath of the fairyland is such a nostalgic smell. I almost forgot about it. A strange and greedy person from the outside world breathes the breath of the fairyland. Haha, I guess the creatures in the immortal realm never dreamed that we would enter the immortal realm in this way. If there were enough seeds from the immortal realm, we wouldn't have lost so many foreign creatures at the eternal barrier. Hee hee, look at those delicious foods, I can't wait to taste their flesh and blood. Don't forget, our main target is Wanqi Academy. Haha, don't worry. According to the spies we planted, all the great emperors of Wanqi Academy are in the Dark Valley. When they react, we will probably destroy Wanqi Academy as well. The Wanqi Academy at this moment is indeed as what this strange figure from the outside world said. Only 3 quasi-emperors are left to guard it. It can be said that it is in name only. But even so, the immortals, demons, gods and monsters do not dare to attack at this time. After all, it was created by Emperor Qing, and because of the close relationship between the human race and Li Bai, no one dares to take this risk. At this moment, countless disciples in Wanqi Academy looked at the image in the sky and couldn't help but beat their chests and shouts one after another. Among them is the plum fairy who changed her destiny because of Nanyi. At this moment, Fairy Mei stared at Empress Nanyi with eyes full of admiration. Nanyi Queen, one day, I will stand in front of you and say thank you. Fairy Mei said with great determination, and at the same time, a fairy bone between her eyebrows was constantly shining with fairy light. Ha ha ha, awesome, 5 dark emperors and the evil thoughts of a Facian emperor are dead. This time, our human race is finally going to stand up. I heard that there are more terrifying existences in the Dark Valley, but I don't know what they are. I heard it's a dark myth emperor. Dark myth? Then don't we have great hope? After all, we also have a myth emperor. You are too naive. The strength of the dark myth emperor may not be defeated even by the current leader of the fairy race. Not only that, according to an ancient book in our Wanqi Academy, the former Qing emperor, and this dark myth emperor fought against him, but lost. How is this possible? That's Qing emperor, who is ranked in the top 100 of the eternal emperor list. That's the fact. I'm also curious. What confidence do we humans have to attack the Dark Valley? On the other side, In the inner courtyard of Wanqi Academy, an elder looked at the worried quasi-emperor ancestor and asked in confusion. Ancestor, are you worried about Qingxian ancestor and the others? No, not really. I always feel a breath of desperate death rushing towards our Wanqi Academy. The quasi-emperor ancestor frowned and said in panic. How is this possible? We humans are attacking the Dark Valley right now. If the four races of immortals, demons, gods, and monsters dare to take advantage of the opportunity to attack, they will be despised by countless creatures in the fairyland. After all, we are equivalent to eradicating a cancer for the fairyland. Besides, the way of heaven should not sit idly by. Then tell me, what happened to those people who attacked the great Emperor Facian just now? At this moment, the Qingtian fairyland was constantly shaking, and the void in the sky of the Wanqi Academy was constantly shattered. A wave of imperial power spread out, and the overwhelming status seemed to be about to destroy the Qingtian fairyland. Even the rules of heaven in the Qingtian fairyland seemed to be crushed and shattered. After feeling this imperial power, countless creatures in the Qingtian fairyland trembled one after another, and the breath of destruction lingered in the hearts of every creature. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 110. What's going on? This wave of imperial power. I don't know where so many emperors came from. No, they are not kind. This wave of imperial power is filled with unparalleled killing intent. Then, one weirdo after another slowly appeared in front of everyone, looking at the disciples of Wanqi Academy, their eyes full of greedy desire. The meat of these human geniuses must be delicious. Oh, I didn't expect that there is a genius with fairy bones in her eyebrows. He, she is mine, don't fight with me. After seeing Fairy May, a weirdo licked his lips and said jokingly. Brothers, if you see a good-looking little brother, please be sure to leave it to me. A charming female weirdo smiled and said. Ha ha ha, no problem, all for you. Below, because the weirdos did not restrain their voices, countless disciples turned pale after hearing their conversation. Could it be that they are really here to attack our Wanqi Academy? How dare they do that? What should we do? What should we do? 20 of them. These are 20 great emperors. How is this possible? I have never seen these great emperors in the portraits of the fairyland. Could it be that, they are not the great emperors of the fairyland? Don't fart. How could they not be the great emperors of the fairyland? Can't you feel the aura of the fairyland on them? Besides, if the great emperors from other places want to enter the 10 great fairylands, they must first break through the eternal barrier. The quasi-emperors guarding the eternal barrier cannot fail to inform the creatures of the 10 great fairylands. At this moment, not only the Qingtian fairyland, but also the other 9 fairylands have felt the aura of these 20 great emperors. An emperor has attacked the Wanqi Academy. Who is so brave? No, what did you say, 20 emperors, how is it possible? I can't be wrong. Aren't they afraid of being spurned by countless creatures? You know, the human race is now attacking the Dark Valley. At this moment, they are the saviors in the eyes of all the creatures in the fairyland. On the other side, in the Dark Valley, accompanied by the sound coming from the black hole, countless people couldn't help but feel endless fear in their hearts. Just hearing this sound, they felt that they were stepping into death. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In an instant, dark light shot out from the black hole, and then dozens of dark emperors appeared in front of the creatures in the fairyland. Some were in ordinary realms, some were immortal, and there were even 3 half-step myths. When they saw the faces of several of the emperors clearly, everything was silent in an instant. Everyone's face was filled with horror and disbelief, as if they had seen something impossible. That one is the Yin-Yang Emperor of the God clan. Ancestor. An ancestor of the Yin-Yang Holy Land shouted wildly after seeing the Yin-Yang Emperor appear. Not only that, there is also the Destruction Emperor of the Demon Clan. The Empress Xiao of the Immortal Clan, the Black Dragon Emperor of the Ancient Dragon Clan. How could these emperors appear here? This is unscientific. At this moment, among the dozen or so Dark Emperors, 7 are emperors of the immortal realm, and the elders of the forces to which these 7 emperors belong have long been dumbfounded and stopped thinking. They cannot understand why their ancestors who have long fallen would appear in the Dark Valley. How is this possible? The Yin-Yang Emperor, the Destruction Emperor, the Black Dragon Emperor, didn't they die in the Battle of the Emperor's Fall? As for the other 4, they have long disappeared in the long river of history. Absolutely impossible. These 7 emperors have long been dead for countless years, especially with countless lives witnessing them. I must have received too many rewards last night and my eyes are blurry. No, they are indeed dead. The aura of death on them is real. The elder said slowly. But how do you explain this? This, I don't know either. It's too weird. After seeing these 7 immortal realm emperors, Emperor Xuanhuan understood instantly. Then, for the first time, an emotion called anger appeared on his face. After all, several of them made great contributions to the 10 immortal realms. They protected the immortal realm for an era. Sir, what a great trick, you actually used the power of darkness to make them into puppets, not only that, but also a secret technique that I can't see through. I am extremely curious, how did you get these 7 emperor corpses and souls? Xuanhuan said to the black hole, as if he was talking to someone. So that's it, I didn't expect it to be the masterpiece of the Dark Valley. Damn it, you dare to make our ancestors into puppets, you will not die well. Damn it, I can't stand it, we Yin and Yang Holy Land choose to fight against the human race together. Hee, our ancient black dragon lineage also chooses to join the war. We destroy the temple. Then, the people of the 7 major forces sent messages back to the ancestral land one after another, and asked to join the war. Such hatred cannot be erased. You must know that making a fallen emperor into a puppet is a taboo in the fairy land. The emperor cannot be insulted, even after death. Making into a puppet, this is no longer an insult. Once there was this race in the fairy land, responsible for digging up the corpses of the quasi-emperor and the great emperor and making them into puppets. Of course, this kind of puppet is somewhat different from the one in the Dark Valley. The puppet made by the Dark Valley retains the peak strength, while the puppet made by that race is only 50%. Later, this race was destroyed by several great emperors. After a long time, a voice came from the black hole. Hee, they are just some small things. I use them to kill time when I am bored. Oh, in this case, why don't you come out in person? Xuanhuan said slowly. Alas, although you are a myth, you are too weak in my opinion. You are so weak that I can't arouse any interest. If I really make a move, you can't take the next move. The old voice came from the black hole again. This old guy is even more pretentious than this dog emperor. Xuanhuan kept cursing. He is really pretentious, but he does have the capital. The grass emperor said helplessly. Indeed, if I exchanged identities with that person, I would be more pretentious than him. Why, are you afraid and dare not confront an ant like me? Xuanhuan sneered. Ha, your provocation is too low level. It is useless to me. After all, I have lived for so many years that I have even forgotten myself. Forget it, if that person shows up, I am still a little interested. After that person shows up, I will naturally show up. After all, I miss him very much. After that, no more sound came out of the black hole.